And welcome back to Bitcoin Advisors channel. I wanted to give you a quick little update as Jerome Powell just got off the microphone and gave us a bit of a dovish speech. Basically said, hey, what I'm doing is working and perhaps we can start to scale back on the rate hikes, and pretty much exactly what we discussed yesterday is happening. If we had bearish news for the dollar, risk assets would rally. And yeah, he basically said that they may be able to, start tapering sooner, and that they're going to see how the data comes in. And he basically just fluffed the market, for a little Christmas rally. Or as, the one thing that could, take out this rally and cause things to, stop in its mud tracks would be a bad inflation print, which it doesn't seem like that's going to be the case as of right now, coming out on the 13th and the 14th. So we do have the rate hike coming, another 50 basis points. He basically gave his hand away today, said we're going to do what we said we're going to do. So the market likes that, and that is, security for the market. And yeah, so I am looking at the dollar has not completely broken down yet, and I still would say this shot to the green box of peace and prosperity or death and despair is in the cards, as long as we do not close a daily below 105.37. That'll get invalidated at that point. In fact, anywhere below the purple 200 would be good enough for me. And in fact, that'll probably confirm. Now that is a lower high. So, yep, hanging out around the purple 200. And here's what I could suspect as well is the monthly close is going to happen in 1 hour and 44 minutes. And we could get a monthly backfill back up to the green box. And that would, we'd need some bullish news for the dollar. Which I don't see any on the board at the moment, but sometimes price action does like to do that. I'm just going to get rid of that. And however, if we get immediate continuation and we take out this wick at 105.28, my next target down is 103, probably continuation over some time to test the top side of this range between 103 and 101. I do not think the dollar gets below there. And I am very interested to see how the market reacts today as the dollar slid, as the Fed's meeting was happening, as this, 30-minute candles started peeling off here. I think Powell was on the TV for about 2 hours. And in fact, as the dollar slid here, you saw Bitcoin really start to take off. And actually the rally started yesterday, I would say. And I guess here's the target I'm looking at for potential lower high, coming in at 17.7 to about 17.8. We did say, hey, if we got a tick above here, very likely going to come up to this 9 exponential on the 5-day. However, momentum will still remain to the downside as long as we are below 18,866. Additionally, on the daily time frame, this green 55 is, a potential rejection area coming in at 18,133. That would look good for a lower high if this move has some legs, and volatility is pinned on the floor and is expanding above 20 percentile. Would say this move is good enough for me, and we will remain to the upside as long as Bitcoin is closing dailies above 16,439. What else did I want to bring up on the 4 hour? We are coming right into this purple 200, and I do expect we would sell off from this region, coming in at 17.5 on the first pass at least. However, as long as we were holding the hourly uptrend on Bitcoin, I would say, pressure in the short term is still to the upside, and, will get invalidated really quick with any kind of I'd say even a 4 hour back. Well, let's look at the 4 hour time frame for that. yeah, 4 hours going to have to be back below 16.5. So that'll be a major pivot on the market going forward. And we could be just coming to test the top side of the range. Very similar. Ethereum is testing its top side of its range, and on the daily time frame, almost up to that green 55. Again, I do expect some selling pressure coming in at about 1320. So we could get some continuation off of this candle, and bounces can come as high as the 618, which is up here at 1423. That would be where your classic bull trap would be put in. And, you know, if we have a Christmas rally, you know, again, I am expecting more lower highs until the trend changes on the weekly time frame, which we would have to make a higher high and a higher low. Currently, we just made another lower low. So what's most likely next? Another lower high. And we'll be talking about how to identify that pivot. But for a macro trend reversal, we're going to need a higher low and a higher high on the weekly time frame for Bitcoin and for Ethereum. And you can see at the moment here on Bitcoin, again, looks like wants to get a tick up to that $18,000 mark. I don't think it'll take much. In fact, as soon as we take out that 17.2, it's probably going to happen pretty quick. And on the weekly time frame, we will cross down below 17,698. So we are still below there, and there's definitely a threat that we could cross back up from this level. And we probably have a couple drives of hidden bullish divergence coming back from this pivot right here. In fact, that would be 1, 2, 3, you know, call it 4. And, you know, you could get a bounce all the way up to 27,000 on Bitcoin. However, I would expect bounces to be weaker in a downtrend, and really it depends on what the dollar does. Again, the dollar is pivotal in these markets. You know, stock market had a $500 or NASDAQ up 4% today. Could be back down 4% tomorrow. Do I think that's the case? It looks like we're going to get some continuation. Was pretty wrong about yesterday. I did think NASDAQ and S&P were going to come back down in the bottom side of this range, and we absolutely got, you know, that is a bullish engulfing candle. You're going to expect continuation off of that. The market did just close. CME also just closed on the day, so volatility very low, crossed up, and you know, I would expect actually a rejection from this pivot at the yellow 21 on the first pass. So you know, we're going to see if we can bust on through. I guess the pivot on CMEs has already been broken here at 16.8 on the 4 hour. And it does look like, you know, probably get extension up to about 17.5. And that would put, you know, maybe the potential for the backwardation between spot price and COMEX to come back in alignment with each other. One other thing to note here on CMEs, we're getting the silver cross, and that is typically good for you know, a little bit of continuation, at least on the 4 hour time frame, and volatility is increasing, the hourly as well. So, you know, looks like a bounce from here is more likely than not, at least over the next week. I don't think there's any more major economic data coming out until we get the CPI print. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. We'll be checking back in on Bitcoin's price action and how to identify the next lower high. And we'll be back soon. Have a blessed day. Take care.